Hi, I'm back this week after a week-long break. Um, Sorry I took a week off. My computer laptop was acting real funky last week, and so I didn't have a chance to make a video. Um, I tried I tried on several different occasions. I think I tried three times. Um, Once the lighting went strange. The second time it cut off, or the recording cut off midway through, and then the third time it cut or recorded in blue, red, green, yellow, orange, basically the color of the rainbow. So I'm back. I did have a lot to say last week, but I'll just kind of sum it up in a few points. I thought Bindi was amazing. This is last week, so Halloween. I thought Bindi was amazing. I thought, I thought Bindi was amazing. Carlos and um, um, Alexa did well. Alec did pretty darn good. Hayes had his best dance. I'm so sorry to see him go. Um, the others didn't do too well. Um, and Team Nightmare definitely deserves to be Team Who You Gonna Call. So that was it. If you want to read more about my thoughts, it's always up at dwtsfun.tumblr.com. So now let's go ahead and come to this week, which was Personal Icons Week or whatever. Um, like a lot of people, I'm kind of sick of the theme weeks, especially this season, as some people have said, and as I'm starting to see, a lot of these theme weeks are kind of becoming redundant, more so than usual. So it's whatever. So the first dance we had this week was Carlos and Whitney. They had a salsa. Um, he got a 27. Um, this dance was all right. Um, he definitely did well. He definitely got into the samba rhythm and groove and stuff. It was believable as a party dance slash club, not party dance, a club dance. It was believable as a club dance that just kind of happened. However, talking about that, there was some really weird things going on with his hands. Um, that I saw it more so this week than I have ever before. I don't know what it was, but it really caught my eye. I was like, hmm. But yeah, he just does this weird thing with his hands. Um, and the lifts, some of the lifts were really not good. The entry into some of them was a bit rough. The exit out of some of them was decent, except for one where he completely botched it and but he basically fell. Um, you know, that stuff. But I would say after that lift, he did the dance picked up a notch and it got better. So, you know, whatever. Well, it's not whatever because you gotta really be there for lifts and be there for your partner so that your partner doesn't fall. But yeah, it was all right. Not his best, not his worst. It was decent. They got a 27, probably slightly overscored compared to the rest of the night, but whatever. Next we have, was it Alec? I think it was Alec and Lindsay. They had their contemporary, and they did it to Don't know what they did it to, but they got a 25. Personally, I would have given this dance a 27. It was Alex's best dance to date. He did really well. He was there for Whitney the whole time. Not Whitney, Lindsay the whole time. Even when when she fell and that fall looked hard, like it looked painful. I felt like I heard a thud when she hit the floor. But that was more probably wardrobe malfunction. I just kind of saw her foot get caught up here, and so she couldn't really take off correctly, and he wasn't able to grab onto her and really, be there for her. But I mean, she fell. He picked her right back up, so he was right there. He was right there. It just happened so fast that it just didn't work out. But yeah, he was right there to help her right back up. It was good. I liked it. I would like for the judges to um, give him more props though. They kind of just, um, they don't really say much good about him. Next we have Andy and Allison. They had a Viennese waltz and they got a 22. Andy definitely took a step way back this week. I didn't like last week for him, but this week really, really took a step back, and I'm going to have to attribute that. Ooh, I'm so sorry. I'm going to have to attribute that to Allison's choreography for this. She went back, although she's still been doing this, she went back to throwing everything and the kitchen sink into her dances. Yes, I know the thing is, but the kitchen sink, she still throws everything, including the kitchen sink, into her dances. Um, Again, not much breathing room, not much for him to kind of work through his posture as a result of him trying to rush and keep up. His posture deteriorates. His footwork is non-existent. Technique is gone. Lines are thrown away. Just a lot of things that get thrown away when you start throwing all of these moves on top of another. Especially in a dance like a Viennese waltz or like a foxtrot or a waltzer. Dances like that where you need that breathing room to really like see the prettiness of the dance, the prettiness and the elegance and the smoothness and the just the ethereal feeling. So yeah, I thought this one too was well deserved. It wasn't a great dance for him to leave on, but everybody has their thing. Um, it was for his mom. He was proud of himself. Um, and you know, I mean, he did what he wanted to do. He did what he needed to do that night. Was to pay tribute to his mom through dance. So great that he did that. Not a great score to leave on, but you know, win some, you lose some. Next, we have Alexa and Mark with an Argentine tango. They got a 25. I'm starting to think that the judges really, for some reason, don't want Alexa to make it far. Like they don't want Alex to make it far. I mean, they've made it far, but they don't really want them to make it to the finals. Whereas there's a few of them that they do want to make to the finals. And I'm not talking about Miss Cindy. Um, I think she's at a lost spot there. Um, just with viewer votes alone, I feel like she's a fan favorite for sure and a great dancer. So but this isn't about Cindy. This is about Alexa. I honestly felt like this dance should have been a 27. Alexa from Switch Up Week, that tango with Derek, was back in full force. Um, she was doing really well. This concept that Mark came up with was, I was a little weary of it at first because I was like, ooh, how's this going to look with an Argentine tango and this song? But it worked. It worked pretty well. It was so good up until the bobbles that she had, the two slips, the two slips. She didn't let it mess her up in the way that they did in her foxtrot weeks and weeks back, which is great to see that growth. in her confidence that she didn't let those two little slips totally throw her off her game, whereas she did in her foxtrot all those weeks ago. So that was great to see. But darn, I just wish she would have. I wish it didn't happen so that she could have gotten that perfect score. But I mean, she was underscored for this. She definitely should have gotten straight nines for sure. Next, we have Nick and China. They had contemporary. They got a 30, which means that they got immunity for the night. I wrote about this in my blog more in depth, but they really keep the praise or just laid the praise on thick for those Nick and China last night. Um, do I think that contemporary was good? I do. I do think it was a very good dance. Do I think it was perfect? No, not at all. His lines weren't as good as they could have been. His posture still seems like he's leaning forward a bit. And then he just seems like heavy footed and just like really rigid. Um, and not stiff, but like rigid. Like it takes a lot for him to like step forward. And he steps forward and it's like bam, it's like if you get what I'm saying. I don't think that this was worth a perfect score. I think that the judges conveniently looked over all that stuff while nitpicking everybody else. Um, I, I have to wonder how he's doing it this vote, especially when you look at how um, they did the baby announcement and then the gender reveal and all that, which was super corny and super extra and super just not necessary. Or yeah, and I just none of that was necessary. But um, the show planned it so that it was this huge thing and blah blah blah, whatever. I do think he's not doing as well in both as people initially thought he would. Definitely not doing as well in terms of scores. And both, I don't think he's coming off as relatable. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes. I don't think he's in any danger to leave yet. I do think he might have been in a little bit of trouble last night, just with how much praise they heaped on him, where they made a complete 180-degree turn, where they were really nitpicking him to the point, and then now it's just like he can do no wrong. So it makes you wonder what's going on. Next, we have Bindi and Derek. They had a foxtrot. They got a 28. This dance was amazing. Um, Bindi, the girl, is incredible. I don't think I, I did not come into this season as expecting to like Bindi as much as I do, because I liked her before, but I did not expect to like her this much. And I really enjoy watching her. I enjoy watching her every week. Um, she definitely um, turned me on to be her fan. Um, and just really, I just want to see what she's going to do because she's just so good. And like, all these performances are really coming from nowhere because she has no performance background. Yeah, she's been on TV, but she's been on TV with animals talking about animals. You know, never in a performing type of way. Educational always, but never a performance. So it's just really weird, just um, and weird in a good way to see how great that she's doing. This if I had to, and I know this is dumb, not even dumb. I'm not even trying. The nitpicking for her was dumb because um, the shoulder thing that was not a problem this week, at least as far as I could see. It wasn't a problem this week. Um, And honestly, if you really, 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 really wanted to nitpick her, the only thing I can see is just her free arm. Kind of, it's one, not free arm, but one of her arms is a little more stiff than the other. And it really doesn't affect the overall performance of the dance. Um, and how it looks, but it is something that's there. I would never take off 2 points for that because it's so small. It's something that so small and something that's so minuscule and so unimportant. But yeah, I mean, obviously, it seems like Bindi is running away with this thing. Obviously. Finally, in the individual rounds, we have Tamar and Val. They did a Paso Doble, and they got a 28. Um, I think for the first time, Tamar improved in her performance with Val. Not saying that that was a huge leap of improvement, but it's an improvement that I saw. She connected with him a bit more, although she was still going in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. But it was better than it has been. Um, but yeah, her performance just she gets these blank eyes, and it really happens a lot when she's in the hole. So I wonder why Val hasn't tried to fix that. I get that she's probably not a very trusting person. It takes a lot to really like get to know her and get her to trust you. But you know, they've been together for like 2.5 months now. So I feel like they should like this progress should be being made. Um, but yeah, she also had some weird and the dance was just kind of really soft and delicate and not the way a paso should be. Um, but I might kind of look at the song for that, because the song, at least that version of Born This Way, didn't really allow for the powerfulness of paso, but whatever. So yeah, those are the individual dances. We go to the dance offs. Nick has immunity, so he doesn't have to do it. I'm just going to briefly talk about each one. The first one was Bindi and Derek versus Carlos and Whitney, and they had a jive. I thought Derek's strategy, not even strategy really, but like Derek's question was not even genius. It was common sense. Like I was talking about it on Twitter last night. Like I almost tweeted that same exact thing until I heard him say it. But I was like, if I were them, I would just sit up there and be like, who wants to do this dance? And then we would be like, okay, then we're gonna do this dance, and partner up like that, you know. So he did with common sense to tell you, but I guess the judges and Aaron and Tom kind of made a big deal about it, which okay, whatever. Um, but yeah, it was obvious and clear that Bindi won this um, um, dance off. She got into it faster. She got way more GI content. The jive that she did was better than Carlos's. Um, but Carlos got the extra point. Um, Even though he did like a worm for like the first few bars, and then like he and Whitney were doing very minimal jive. And the jive that they did do, although it was good and very fun, it was not as good and as clean as Bindi's was, which was also fun. So for me, Bindi won that, and according to America, she clearly won. She wiped the floor with him and got like 66% of the vote. Um, so that was dumb. Then we move on and we have Alexa and Tamar um, doing it, and their partners, Mark and Val, and they're doing this cha-cha dance off. Um, I thought Alexa did great, amazing. Um, Tamar, although she did well when she finally got into it, it took her like 12 bars to finally get into the dance. And then they didn't even really do that much and didn't move that much. But what she did do, she did well. Um, Alexa won that by a mile, clearly won that dance off. And the judges Julianne and Bruno were like, oh no, Tamar won. Like, really? Because Tamar barely did anything. And Alexa was way, way, way better than Tamar in that moment. Um, and even America got the fact that Alexa wiped just 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 wiped the floor, wiped everything. Just oh, it was Alexa got like 77, 74, 76% of the vote. Meaning Tamar got like I think she got 74, meaning Tamar got like 26% of the vote. So obviously America was like, oh, Alexa clearly won that one because she did. Um, it's also weird to see how America votes for these things because clearly they didn't really care for Carlos or Tina. So makes you wonder how they're doing in terms of actual votes. The final one was a samba, and it was Andy and Allison and Alec and Lindsay. This is awful. It was a terrible dance off. Neither one really knew what they were doing. Neither one had a samba before, so they were really just like winging it, and I really do mean winging it. Um, I clearly, to me, Alec won this one purely because he attempted to do something that kind of sort of resembled a samba the entire time, whereas Andy did like a couple seconds of it and then he's like, whatever, handspring, freestyle the rest of the way while Allison's doing something in the background. So, but it was unanimous that Andy and Allison won, which was dumb. Um, Clearly Alec won that, but whatever. Didn't help. Well, maybe they just didn't want Alex to get the point. I don't know. But yeah. In the end, Alex and not Alex, Andy and Allison were the ones to lose. Carlos and Whitney were in jeopardy with them, which says to me that Carlos is up on that chopping block next. Um, because his Jeopardies were he's been in Jeopardy the most of anyone. This season that's left, his Jeopardies seem more like we need to rack up some votes for him. Whereas like let's say Alexa, her first Jeopardy may have been let's rack up some votes. I think her second one was more for the drama of she got us some votes for let's see if she's gonna make it through. But yeah, that was it. Tell me how you felt, or yeah, tell me how you felt about this. Next week they're doing the duet. That those dances that they did in season 18 House 6, they're doing those again, which I actually really enjoyed those during season 18. So I hope they're just as enjoyable this season. Um, yeah, if you want to follow me and read my blog of this, I said it earlier, that'll be in the link. You can also follow me on Twitter, kid tiger underscore underscore. I'll put that in the link. Um, yeah. I will see you all next week. Um, Possibly Monday of next week. I'm thinking of maybe doing a review for the Real Housewives of Atlanta, which premieres on Sunday. So yeah, that's all. Um, week 8 is done. We have 3 weeks left. Bye.